Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about factorization by grouping. Okay, before we start, let's first remind ourselves what factorizing means. Okay, it's one of the key skills in mathematics. If we have to factorize, what we have to do is eventually to express an expression as a product of its factors. Right? So if we want to factorize 12, we will write 12 as a product of its factors. So we can write 12 as 3 times 4. So if I have to factorize this expression here, remember I have to write it as a product of its factors. So what we can do is, we take out the factor 2, we write this expression here as 2 times x plus 2. Okay, that is what factorizing means. Please remember. Now, today we are going to focus on factorization by grouping. Okay, but I've shown you this because actually there are 4 different factorization methods that can be applied depending on how the expression is like. Alright, now when do we use factorization by grouping? We will do factorization by grouping when the expression has 4 terms. So there are 3 examples here of an expression with 4 terms. When we see that an expression has 4 terms and we are asked to factorize, alright, we will use factorization by grouping. Now I'm going to demonstrate with this last expression here. So if the question tells me factorize this expression, okay, I notice that this expression has 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will use factorization by grouping to factorize it. Okay, so let me do the working here. Step 1 of factorization by grouping. Okay, as the name suggests, we have to actually group these 4 terms into 2 groups. Okay, how do we decide whether or not to put 2 of the terms together? We put 2 terms into the same group if they actually have a common factor. So if we look at these 4 terms here, the terms xy and positive 4x can be considered as being in the same group because they actually share the common factor x. The other 2 remaining terms, negative 3y and negative 12, can also be grouped together in the same group because if you look at it, they share a common factor, negative 3. Okay, so once you have grouped them into 2 groups, what you do is, for each group, you take out the common factor. So for these 2 terms that belong in the same group, we said that they share the common factor x. So we factorize out x. What we are left is this. Okay. These 2 other terms, we will factorize out the common factor, which we said is negative 3. What we are left with is this. Okay, I make sure that when I've done that, right, these 2 sets here are connected by either a positive or negative sign. Because I factorize out negative 3 from these 2 terms, already that very nicely gives me a negative to connect up the 2 parts. I'm okay. Do you realize that both parts actually share the common factor y plus 4 now? So we are not done yet. Remember, to factorize is to make it into a product. This expression is not yet a product. We do one more step, which is to factorize out y plus 4 from both parts. What is left in this first part is x. The second part is negative 3. And you look at this. Is this a product? Yes, it is the first bracket multiplied by the second. We have made this expression into a product of its factors. We have factorized, and the method that we use here is grouping.